Welcome back to County Connection. For this next segment of our October episode, we're going to be talking about how to vote in the 2019 election. And here to tell us all the details is our County Clerk and Recorder, Kathy Neal. Welcome, Kathy.
Thanks for having me, Julie.
So, Kathy, we have an election coming up right around the corner. It seems like every year is a big election, and you guys are so busy this time of year.
They're all big to us. The next election is Tuesday, November 5th.
Okay. So let's start off with registration. So what are some of the key dates that folks need to be aware of when it comes to making sure you're registered to vote?
Well, we encourage everyone to go on to govotecolorado.com to verify their registration, make sure it's up to date. In Colorado, you can register to vote on Election Day, but it's probably better to be prepared before Election Day. Make sure your record is updated. Colorado is a mail ballot state, and the last day that we can mail out a ballot is October 28th. So if you're not registered by that date, you'll have to do it and vote in person.
Okay. So October 28th is that key date to make sure that your registration is right, or that you have registered at your current address in order to receive a ballot in the mail.
Correct. Otherwise, you'll have to do it in person.
Okay. And so what are the ways that people can register to vote?
They can register online. They can register in our office. They can register at the motor vehicle or at the driver's license, and they can register. There's voter registration drives, so there's a lot of places you can register to vote.
Okay, great. Anything to add about registration? So I guess maybe one thing, if people have moved, then they need to update their registration.
They should update their registration.
The same PO box.
Correct, because we want to make sure they're voting the correct ballot style, and the ballot style is dependent on where you live.
Okay, great. Anything else on voter registration, or have we covered all of that?
I think we've covered it, but if people have questions, they can always call our office.
Okay, perfect. So moving on to actual voting. So Colorado really is leading the country in terms of creating great access to the ballot, making it easy for people to participate in the election process, in the voting process. And so we have so many ways to vote now. Can you tell us about all those opportunities?
Well, Colorado is a mail ballot state, so that means every active elector in Colorado automatically gets a ballot in the mail. But, we also have early voting the week before the election and in-person voting on Election Day for those that like to vote in person.
Okay. And folks will receive that ballot in the mail, but they don't necessarily need to return it in the mail. There are a whole bunch of ways that folks can return their mail ballot.
There's a lot of ways. We have 5 24-hour drop boxes located throughout the county. They're all under 24-hour video surveillance, and the ballots are picked up daily, and so they can drop them in those. They can drop them in our office, or they can take them to the mail, or drop them at a voting location on Election Day.
Fantastic. Yeah, it really is so easy to vote in Colorado, so you don't need to stand in those long lines on Election Day.
You don't. Only if you want to. But we probably won't have long lines. We really, since we've started voting by mail, the in-person voting gets less and less every year.
All right. And so people are thinking a lot about the security of our election systems these days, and the voting equipment in your office just got an upgrade. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, we did get an upgrade, and one thing people should know is that the tabulation system is never connected to the internet. So the only way there's really no way to hack into it unless you're physically present, but we have all our equipment is sealed, and we have a very tight security system. The Secretary of State is working very hard and working very closely with the county IT departments to ensure against cyber attacks during the election.
Okay, great. So people should really feel confident in the integrity and security of our election system in Summit County.
In the state of Colorado, they should feel good about it.
All right, great. Is there anything else that you would like to add about voter participation in the 2019 election?
Well, there's, this election is what's called an odd year coordinated election. There's trustees for CMC College, Summit County School District School Board. The state has 2 questions. The county has 2 questions. The school has a question. And then we also have a few West Grand voters in the county. There's also the Peak 7 Local Improvement District, which is on the ballot for just those people that live in Peak 7.
Okay, great. So a lot of things on the ballot, even though it is that odd year. So people should definitely keep an eye out for those ballots coming in their box and make sure they're registered and participate in our democracy.
Yep, and ballots go out the week of October 14th. So, folks that are expecting to get a ballot and don't, make sure you call our office so we can get you a ballot and figure out why you didn't get one.
Okay, good to know. All right, well, thanks so much for coming in today, Kathy.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks for all that hard work that you do around our voting process here in Summit County. I know that you guys are in overdrive when election season rolls around, so thanks for all the elbow grease.
Thank you, Julie.
All right, we're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about a great event at which you'll be able to get to know your snowplow operators.